Thank you. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Now let me see. Are there any men in the audience? Please raise your hand. Men? God, I love this job. And to think I almost became an economist. Okay. How would you like us to play a game? Yeah? Yes? Okay. It's a guessing game. So let's see, we have Team A, Team B. If you guess the answer, just raise your hand. Don't call out the answer. All right, or you lose a point for your team. Let's go. Right. Famous billionaire, trillionaire, engineer from South Africa, and he's also a friend of the Donald. Hands up, okay. And the answer is?
Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump? No?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. It is, okay. 2 points for this team. Right. Famous landmark. In India, it's a mausoleum, a fantastic example of Muslim art. The Taj Mahal. God, you're good. So the next item is an object, a small object made of metal. You can find it at the end of your fishing line if you go fishing. And the answer is? Don't call out the answer. Okay. I'm sorry. All right, number 4. Number 4 is an action. It's a habit, a bad habit, both for you and for the people around you. Smoking it is. Very good, very good. Next one is nature. It's an animal or a plant. It's a small black animal, and you have to make sure you don't tread on it when you go swimming. That's it. Yeah? Sea urchin, that's right. Well done, well done. The last one is the lucky guy who marries the bride. Groom it is. Very good. Excellent. Do you think your students will enjoy this game?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's interesting, isn't it? I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Somehow I don't seem to be able to get this. Okay. Alright. So yeah, this is a motivating activity, definitely. And motivation is something I'm very, very interested in. For many, many years I've been interested to discover what is it that motivates people? What is it that makes people tick? And you might say, okay, I mean, this is all well-known stuff, right? Is it? That's it. I have a little quiz for you, just one question. Here's a simple question for you. How can you get people to like you? Don't worry, it's a multiple choice question. A, B, C, D. That's it. By doing things for them? By smiling a lot? By asking them for favors? By listening to them? Who thinks it's A? Raise your hands if you think it's A. Okay? Who thinks it's B? Raise your hands. Okay? Who thinks it's C? Raise your hand. 3 or 4 people. Who thinks it's D? Lots of people. Okay, good. They're all correct, of course, but the right answer is C. Incredibly enough. And it's something called the Franklin Principle. You can look it up. I don't have to do it now. The Franklin Principle. And it's based on a notion called cognitive dissonance. Now, what I'm going to say is going to sound a bit crazy, okay? But hear me out. This is the idea. If I ask you for a favor, you do something for me, you don't know me, right? Subconsciously, your brain thinks along these lines. So, this guy asked me for a favor, and I just did something for him. If he's a nice guy, I did the right thing. If he's a beep, then perhaps I didn't do the right thing. Maybe I'm an idiot. But I know I'm not an idiot. Ergo, that's right, he's a nice guy, and I like him. Yeah? That's one way of resolving cognitive dissonance. Check it out. Right. Now, many people say, okay, these are things that you understand. You pick those things up by experience. I'm not so sure. And I would like to introduce you to a fascinating distinction made by a guy called Miyamoto Musashi. Hands up those of you who have heard of Mr. Musashi. A famous duelist of the Middle Ages, a samurai. And he made a fascinating distinction between a strike and a hit. So Musashi said, when you're fighting somebody with a sword, as we all do from time to time, right? Sometimes you aim a blow at them and you injure them. That's deliberate. That's a strike. But sometimes, if you injure somebody in the course of the fighting by accident, that's a hit. Now, my contention here is that when it comes to methodology, we know our stuff, we are good. And what we do in class are strikes. We choose to do things and so on. But when we get things right in the psychology department, more often than not, we're talking about hits. But if you know the principles, if you know about the discoveries made in the field of psychology, you can then use these ideas to improve students' motivation in class. And you can turn those hits into strikes. And that's the idea behind the session. So let's see, this is the menu. We want to look at some discoveries from the field of psychology and how you can use them in class. Here they are. Pick moments, choice, implementation, intentions, the incomplete, like the previous word, and endings. Let's start with the first one. Peak moments. What is this? Well, this has to do with the way memory works. How does memory work? So let's see, this diagram describes an experience. Maybe a visit to a restaurant, maybe a lesson, right? As you can see, there are ups and downs. So many people think that when we recall the experience, we remember all those moments, and we kind of work out an average. Yeah? This is not how things work. Research has shown that there are some moments which count disproportionately. And these are peak moments. See that thing at the top? And the way the experience ends. We'll count to endings, well, at the end. Okay, but now we'll talk about peak moments. Is this really so? Well, they did a study on TripAdvisor. And they looked at the number of reviews. Yeah? So they asked people, said, some reviews said, we were very, very satisfied with our meal and so on. So they contacted these people and they asked them, how likely are you to recommend this restaurant to people? And they said, 60%. But listen to this now. When the review contained these words, a delightful experience, surprise, that the meal contained a delightful surprise. And then they asked them, how likely are you to recommend this restaurant? The figure was 94%. Amazing. Why? Because this surprise counts disproportionately. So this is the moral for us. Peak moments are memorable. So think back to the amazing presentation given by Ezra earlier. Chances are, week after that, she gave lots and lots of fantastic ideas, but the thing that, for me, the thing that stood out was this activity, you know, with the songs, with the music, and so on and so forth. Okay? And now, like I said, Ezra's presentation was amazing. But the idea here is this. You can have a lesson which is very, 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 very good. And all at the same level, everything's good about it. Yeah? And then you can have a very, very average lesson which contains one moment which is fantastic. This experience can make students remember the second lesson as better than the first. Incredibly. So the moral for us is include peak moments in class. How can we do this? Over to you. We can play wonderful songs like what Ezra did, and any other ideas? You can get students to play games. Anything else?
Telling a joke.
Yeah, telling jokes. I'm a great fan of jokes. By the way, I have a channel on YouTube, and because I like jokes and comedies and so on, if you type comedy for ELT, you'll find lots and lots of jokes. Anything else?
Riddles.
Riddles, very good. Yeah, it's something very memorable, which engaging. Anything else? So, stories. Some stories, yeah. It can be a poem. It can be something that has to do with art. You show them a painting, an experience that makes them go, wow, that's the idea. Okay? And like I said, one of these activities is playing a game. Like a game we just play, articulate. This is actually a commercial game. It's an actual game that you can buy, okay, but it's also available online. Isn't it fantastic? And this is what the cards look like. In the game, there are 6 entries. Okay, as you can see, it's P, W, O, A, and R. And P stands for person, W stands for world, object, action, nature, random. This is an amazing activity because it helps students to paraphrase. This is the thing they need in public examinations. I used to be an examiner for the British Council for 10 years. And sometimes you'd have students, taking the interview. And they would just freeze, you know, and stare up at the ceiling because they didn't remember one word and they couldn't paraphrase. So this is an activity you can go do with students. Students play in groups of 4, 2 pairs. So we are a team who stand opposite each other. Members of the same team sit opposite each other. They all Google Play Articulate Online, which you're going to do now in a minute. They each choose a category. And what they have to do is they have to explain or paraphrase, etc., the word they have in front of them for the partner to guess. Right? They take turns. One of the team describes or explains a word for the other person to guess. You needn't worry about the slides, by the way. At the end, I'm going to give you my email. You can send me an email. I'm going to send you the slides and the ChatGPT prompts that I will be using. Okay? If the partner finds it, they score a point for the team. Well, let's play. Please take out your mobile phones. I want you to find this. It's free. You don't have to create accounts or anything. Play Articulate Online. Yeah? You click on one of these things, P, W, O, etc. Actually, let me show it to you. Okay. Hopefully, yeah. This is what you find. Yeah? Now, here's an important point. Look at this. At the bottom, switch cards because you want the cards for children. Because they're easier. Otherwise, the people, your students might not know the words. And you click on P, a person, the Smurfs. Okay. Or a place in the world, or an object, action. So we say it's impolite to do this in public places if you look intently at other people, staring. Yeah? Nature, an animal or a plant, and random. So let's see whether you can do it then. Choose one of these words. Have you found it? Raise your hands if you found the site. Yeah. Very good, very good. So find a word, and let's see if I can guess it. Okay? No, you have to paraphrase, to explain the word for me to guess. That's the idea. Let's say we're playing together. Yes?
Famous sites in Paris.
Famous, the Eiffel Tower. Got it. Okay, good. Anything else? Now this is just for some audience participation. Yes?
The main actor in Harry Potter.
The main actor in the Harry Potter films, Mr. Radcliffe. Got it. Okay. Anything else? Yes, the lady at the back. Sorry? Okay. A knife? But for butter. Okay, butter knife. Whoa. Yes?
An annoying black and white bird.
Annoying black and white bird. Is it J? J?
No, it's not with that. Oh, I can't help you with that.
Okay. Oh, come on, give me an M. Black and white bird. I don't know. A magpie. Yes. Okay. Any other words? Anything else? Yeah? Raining heavily, pouring. Okay, got it. So you see the idea, that's how it works. Students work together, they paraphrase. Now, what about AI? The incredible thing is that now with AI, students can play this game with ChatGPT. Let's see. But like I said, I'm going to send you the prompts. By the way, this is one of the very, very few activities my students do on their own. And it's an activity they ask, oh, come on, let's play the game when we start the class. They want us to play this game. Okay. Articulate. So you copy the prompt. Okay. And then we'll go to ChatGPT. There it is. Paste. Hi Mia, let us play guessing game. Okay. Now hopefully it's going to work. Ready? Okay. Give me a word. An easy one. You're on from
Muffin. Sailing.
sailing, okay. It's the, let's see if you can hear me. It's above the floor. Good. Another one.
Electricity.
Sorry?
Mockingbird.
Mockingbird.
Mockingbird. Complete the title of this book by Harper Lee. To Kill a... Got it. You can say any way you want to. Another one. Give me another one.
Electricity.
Okay. We use this to power our appliances. It's like magic, isn't it? Okay. That's very good. Okay. So students can do it on their own. And I love, as you're going to see, I love activities that students can do on their own because I believe that our role is changing as teachers. In the past, we were in charge of the class, and so our role was to teach and motivate and so on. I think our role is changing. We're becoming more like coaches. So you know when you go to the gym, you say to the coach, so the coach doesn't give you homework. You say, okay, so here are some exercise. Try these and tell me which one works best for you. Right? I love this idea. Let's move on now to the second principle, choice. British Telecom, imagine a company like Vodafone, so they were introducing a new service. Right? And they wanted to ask the subscriber, do you want it? So this is what they did. They sent out 1,000 emails to 1,000 subscribers, do you want it? If so, please call us on the phone, okay, to say you want it. And then they sent out another 1,000 emails, and they told people, do you like the service? If so, please send us an email. And then they sent an email to another 1,000 people, and they told these people, do you like the service? If so, please get in touch with us, either by phone or by email. Here are the results. First case, 3%. Second case, 5%. Third case, 8%. Wait a minute, do you want the service or not? What's the problem about picking up the phone or sending an email? What's the difference? The point is, we like having choice. We like having options. And this encouraged more people to ask for this particular service, right? Here's another example. There are two groups of people, and they told me you're going to take part in a poetry recital. So the first group of people were told, okay, choose a poem, or you have to stick with it. You rehearse it, you perform it, that's it. And told the second group of people, choose a poem, you rehearse it, you're going to perform it, but don't worry, if you don't like it, you can change it afterwards. You can change it much, you can pick a different poem. Nobody did. Afterwards, they asked everybody how much they had enjoyed the experience. Guess what? The second group had enjoyed it more because they felt they had a choice. Not only that, they had also performed better. Just because they had a choice, or they felt they had a choice. And this is my favorite study. That's why I said that the last bit. Okay, this is genius. So imagine a room, so they brought in children, one after the other. And they had a selection of toys. But one of the toys was a really fancy toy, you know, a robot and stuff like that. So they would ask the kids, I'm going to give you a toy. Which one do you want? The first group. Everybody said, the robot. Okay, here it is. So they got the robot. They left. So they did that with 100 kids. In the second case, notice the difference now. Same toys. The kid will come in, okay, which toy do you like? Oh, the robot. Okay, I don't know. I think I'll give you the robot. The kid got what they wanted. But now the researcher made it appear that it was his choice what toy he got. Right? So they did that with 100 kids. And then they asked the kids how much they enjoyed the toy. Guess what? The first group liked the robot a lot more than the second group. They had chosen it, they got it, but it looked like the other person gave it to them. So this is the moral for us. Given a choice, we choose to choose. And we're much happier when we have a choice, or, in the case of democracy, when we appear to have a choice. Okay. So, here's a question for you. How can we give our students more choice? What can we do? Any ideas? For example, let's say we have 5 activities to do on a particular day. So these are the 5 activities. Which one would you like us to do first? That's one choice. Anything else? Yes?
Make them pick between 2 worksheets or so.
To give them a choice between 2 activities, perhaps?
Or, yeah, 2 different lessons, for
2
example.
different lessons. Okay, we have this lesson or this lesson. Which one do you want? Anything else? Any other ideas?
Voting.
Well, that was one heavy lunch, clearly. Yeah? Voting. Get them to vote. So we have 5, we take some 5 topics, you vote on them. Get them to choose the lesson for the next time. So here are 20 topics. Choose. What would you like us to talk about next time? Anything else?
Get them to choose a teacher next time.
Get them to choose a teacher. Oh, God, out of a job. What do you mean?
I mean, role play, like students.
Oh, role playing. All my students would go for Scarlett Johansson. I teach boys. Okay. All right. So yeah, you get the idea. The point is that very often we are so preoccupied on giving them quality stuff, quality materials, good activities and so on. We don't think about the psychological element, giving them a choice, more of a say in the way the lesson is done. So here's an activity. Remember what I said earlier, I love activities that students can do on their own. It's like a gymnast exercise. Here are your activities, you do it on your own. And this is, and you all know Quizlet, of course. Hands up those of you who know Quizlet. It's one of my favorite tools, very simple. Quizlet, it works on the card principle, as I'm sure you know. So in the good old days, people had cards, they would write a word here, a translation or the explanation on the back, right? And they would quiz themselves, hence Quizlet. What's this word? Okay. They look at the back, right? And there are lots of combinations, lots of different possibilities. You can have synonyms, you can have antonyms, collocations, or sentences. I think sentences are better because students can see how the word is used in context. So this is an activity you can do. Actually, let me show it to you first. Imagine I'm a student and I want to do some revision. Not this one. Okay. There it is. Okay. So here's a set I prepared. And what we have here is one side of the card. What's the missing word? I'll do 1 or 2, and then you help me. On beep, we were welcomed by our guide at the airport. Maybe upon arrival. Ah, you're good. You must show your beep before entering the plane. This is B2 level. Boarding pass. Very good. They stayed at a luxury beach resort. Oh, you're really, really good. Okay. All right, and this is, if you already know the words, this is the way to do it. That's retrieval, of course. Students, it's not a good idea if they can see the word. But when you are first playing with a set, you want to get to know the words, you can do this activity, which is very popular with my students because of the time element. So let's see. We had a 2-hour beat in Amsterdam. The word is? Yep. Okay. They went on a Mediterranean cruise, that's right, for anniversary. We spent the afternoon sightseeing, perhaps. I always carry a beep to learn more about the places. Okay, good. Don't forget your beep, passport, all right. And finally, we had a whole day to explore the historic city. 29 seconds. See, at the top. And then she'd say, oh, I want to do it in 25. So they play really quickly. But it helps if you tell them to actually read out the sentence aloud, because this way they get to connect the various words and they get to see the word being used in context, and they get information about collocation, lexical grammar, collocation, that kind of stuff. Now, what about choice? We were talking about choice. Where's the choice in that? The choice is that if you show the students the way to prepare such a set, it takes 1 minute, that's right, just 1 minute. And they can prepare their own sets on topics that they choose, right? So let me show you. This is an idea I pinched from Russell Stannard. Hands up those of you who know Russell Stannard. I'm shocked. Okay, seriously good. The guy is a really techie expert. Almost as good as Ezra. Okay, so really check out his videos on YouTube. Russell Stannard. He's got lots and lots of videos on tools for English language teachers specifically. Okay, and this is an idea I pinched from him. So don't tell him if you see better. Okay, so this is how it works. You ask ChatGPT to give you 50 words on a particular topic. Give him 50 words. And then you have to generate a table with 2 columns. So yeah, I want you to have, on one column I want you to have these words that have to do with a particular topic. And in another one I want you to have an illustrative sentence for how this word is used. And then you ask it to leave a gap where the target word should be. You see? Exactly like what we did a minute ago. So you have your table, what then? And then you just copy it and paste it on Quizlet. That's it. And you have your set. In the past, it used to take me ages to prepare Quizlet set. But now, it's a piece of cake. More importantly, students can do it on their own, on topics that they're interested in. You copy the table, and then go to Quizlet, and you click where it says Create Flashcard Set. Click on Import, that's the keyword. Paste. Bob's your uncle. Create the flashcard set. I'm going to show it to you now, just so you can see how easy it is. And then you can use it for revision. Now, we're talking about choice. Let me give you a choice. What topic would you like me to create a Quizlet on? Choose a topic.
Feelings.
Feelings. Feelings or relationships?
Feelings.
Feelings, okay. So you give the prompt to the students, and all they have to do is change, this is the prompt, you can see it there, and all they have to do is change the words sports and exercising. Now they can put feelings, right? Let's see. Hi Mia, please give me a table with 2 columns, etc. 50 words that have to do with feelings. You specify the level, B2 level, or B1 or whatever. The word should be useful so that the B2 level students can talk about the topic. Neither two is not too difficult. And you can say include verbs, nouns, adjectives, phrasal verbs, etc. In the second column, I want a gap sentence with a word missing. Okay, let's see. Copy. And then we'll go to ChatGPT. Or indeed, and the other, Gemini or whatever. What was that the other thing that you talked about? Copilot, that's right, okay. So, paste, and we have feelings here. And feelings here. Related to feelings. Okay, and that should be it. And here's your table. How long did it take me? So far it has taken me 20 seconds, approximately. And of course you can vary the number of words and so on. You may want 30 or 100 or whatever. So what you do is you copy the table, copy everything. Come on, okay. Copy. And then you go to Quizlet. And you can see here at the top it says plus, add a new flashcard set. Yeah? Flashcard set. No. and say feelings. This was okay. So let me discuss. Delete this one. Okay. Okay. Feelings B2, right? And you click where it says import. That's the important bit here now. And you paste your table in here. That's it. Your set is ready. Create. And then you can send it to your students. Copy this link, send it to the students. But the important thing is to show them how they can prepare it themselves. And you have this thing, she slept deeply, etc., etc. Relieved. You can choose to look on the other side. Go to flashcards and what are the options? Okay. Now you can see the other side. For some reason, you can only see, look at the other side. Okay. So the front here is the 10, that's it. Bring out a bit. Okay. So I was beep when the doctor told me it was nothing serious. I was relieved. Next one, he came beep by the amount of work. Beep. Overwhelmed, anxious, overwhelmed word. She grew beep when the computer kept freezing. Frustrated perhaps. Very good. You get the idea? Excellent. So now students have a choice. And they can choose what it is that they want to revise. So let's move on now to the next principle. What is implementation intentions? What is this? I'll explain by means of an example. So in this study what they did, it was before election day, so they went up, they approached 100 people and they asked them, are you going to vote tomorrow? And everybody said yes, of course, yeah, responsible citizens and all that. And then they did the same thing with another 100 people. But this time, they did like this. Are you going to vote tomorrow? Yes, okay. When are you going to vote? Maybe in the morning. Are you going to go alone? No, I'm going to go with my wife. Okay. How are you going to go to the polling station? By car, right? So they asked them to come up with details. They asked them to fix the plan in their mind. It didn't really matter whether they did that or not. But they had to think in advance about those details. And what was the result? But afterwards, they asked them, did you vote? And the percentage of the people who actually voted was much higher in the second case. We are much more likely to follow through with our plans if we do this kind of preparatory work. And write down implementation intentions. Yeah. Flesh out the plan, as it were. Let me give you another example. They did this with people, elderly people who had undergone hip replacement surgery. This is serious. And you need to exercise afterwards. So what they did, with one group, they told them, okay, you have to exercise 10 minutes every day. Okay. With the second group, they told them the same thing. You have to exercise 10 minutes every day. Okay. When are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Are you going to do it alone? Etc., etc. What are you going to do before that? Have lunch, or immediately after lunch. Yeah? So the result was, the second group was twice as likely to be able to walk by themselves in a month's time compared to the other one. Yeah? Or 3 times more effective or something. Huge difference. There was a huge difference between them. And here's something closer to our reality. Essay writing. The Christmas essay. So you know how teachers like to torture the students, they like to give them essays. Would you believe that? During the Christmas holiday, write an essay. Okay. So they asked students to write an essay. That was the first group. With the second group, they told them to do the same thing, write an essay But of course they ask them, okay, when are you going to do it? Just before Christmas dinner. Okay, where are you going to do it? In my study. How long do you think it's going to take you? Are you going to write it by hand or on the computer? All kinds of details. The result? The second group was 33% more likely to write the essay. And that's important. So this is the moral here. Put your plan down in writing, in detail. Now, do we do this in class? No. Yeah, so we just tell students what they can do and leave it at that. No. You want to encourage students to flesh out their plans, even if it is a very, very simple activity. And this takes me back to the other idea that I mentioned earlier, how our role is changing. What I love are simple activities, activities that our students can do on their own. And it has to be something very easy to do. It has to be something that takes very little time. I work with business professionals. They don't have very much time. It's great if they can do it with their smartphone, because that means they can do it anywhere. They can make the most of their time, perhaps. And it's even better if they can also get feedback. So for example, if I do a monologue, I don't know, did I do well or not? And there has to be some way of getting feedback. So, what can we do? Here's an idea. Have you heard of English reels? Hands up those of you who have. Nobody. One person at the back. Excellent. What is English reels? English reels is a site. It's a free site, and it gives you 20 minutes every day for free. And then if you want, you can upgrade your plan. English. It's a very, very simple site, actually. The activities, do you know Duolingo? Yeah, there are many, many similar activities. Lots of activities, as you're going to see. So I tell my students, okay, choose a task. Set yourself a goal. Okay, I'm going to do 10 sentences, and I want to get 7 out of 10. Right. This is excellent, especially for people preparing for public examination, like the Cambridge exams. Yeah. So you have tasks like, as you're going to see, open, close, multiple choice, what do you call it, word transformation, etc. 7 out of 10. Do the task. And then recalibrate your goal for the next time. So you get 4 out of 10, maybe you need to take that into account for next time. Very good. What does it look like? This is what it looks like. You go there, you register with your Google account. That's it. And nothing else. You don't need to do anything else. It gives you 20 minutes for free every day. Well, let's see what it looks like. I love English reels, and so do my students. Again, we're talking about one of those few things that students will do on their own. Use website. Ta-da! Here it is. See, start your 20 minutes. Yes, because we have 20 minutes every day. Now, there are lots and lots of activities. I'm going to show you 3 of them. You go where it says focus. Can you see that? Focus. And these are the activities. Another good thing about the site is that the activities often come in 2 levels. Open, close 1, open, close 2. Beginner, intermediate, advanced proficiency. Okay, so let's start with something very, very simple. Build a sentence. Let's do this one. Okay, imagine a real beginner. She is happy. Bing. You get instant feedback. That's important. Another one. Go on. The car is fast, okay. Now, obviously, this is elementary for you. Let's go and see the second level. So let's go to build the sentence number 2. Okay, some of these are easy, some others are not so easy. Whoa, over to you, enjoy. Okay, this one, the first one is this one, had. Huh? Had it not been for her help, we wouldn't have finished. That's good, isn't it? And that's your inversion. So imagine you have students preparing for the exam, but they just have to do 10 sentences. That's it. Let's do another one. This time we're going to make a mistake. Again, another inversion. Go on. Had I known, I have would acted differently. Okay, I told you I was going to make a mistake. I said no. I said no. Don't be silly. Yeah? And it gives you an explanation as well. Very good. My question, okay, it's nothing fantastic or amazing or wonderful. But my question to you is this: can my students do it on their own?
Yes.
Yes. Can they set themselves a goal? Yes. Can they do it using the smartphone? Yes. Do they get instant feedback? Yes. What more do you want? It ticks all the bloody boxes. Right, I didn't say that. Okay. Let's have a look at another one. Okay, so you can find it English reels, but let's see. Another one is, let's do the open clause. Letter 2, obviously. I think you've hit the bit on the head. Of course, the answer is nail. You've hit the nail on the head. You click here, and the answer is nail. You've hit the nail on the head. Check. Bing. Yes. Next one. He was burning the midnight oil. Yeah, at both ends. Well, it's difficult to burn the oil at both ends. Yeah, I think maybe we're talking about a candle here. Right. Yeah, burn the midnight oil is another one. Yeah. Burn the candle. Okay. Very good. Can your students do that? Yes, they can. Let's do another one now. The transformation. Word formation, yes, this one. Beep are only allowed to travel on buses after the rush hour. Pensioners, that's it. Next one. He approached the problem creatively, yeah. Derivatives, right? Click here. Okay, good. Now, can you please find the site on your smartphones? English Reels. That's it. English Reels. And it will ask you to create an account using your Google account. Just here, so you know where it is. That's the one. English Reels app. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, use the. I don't know. Yes? Yes? The web. Yeah. That's it. Good. And you can click here at the top, the lines at the top, to choose the go to focus. Yeah, web. You can click on web and do it on the web, on the site, on the web. You click, and then you click on the three lines, web. And then you click the three lines here, focus. You have the activities. Yeah? That easy. Okay, just. Okay, just wanted to make sure that nobody pays any attention to anything I say from now on. But obviously, sending us to the world. Okay. You can check it on your own at home. Okay. And again, when I send you, if you send me an email, I can send you the prompts, and I can send you the links to Articulate and English Reels. I'll project it here at the end. All right, next principle is the incomplete. What is this? Well, I want to say a few things about this. A story about Bluma Zeigarnik, a little-known psychologist. She lived in Prague, I think, in the period between the wars. And she and her friends used to go to a restaurant. And there was a guy there, waiter. It was amazing. He never used a notepad or anything. He remembered everything. He was Mr. Memory. Yeah? He would take an order from 10 people, And then he would bring everything and put everything in front of the right person, and he would remember all the details and stuff. But Bloomer had an idea. At some point there was a big group, like 6 or 7 people. They placed their order, indeed they got everything they had asked for. At the end, the time came for them to ask for the bill. So Bloomer said to her friends, cover everything up. And they did. So the waiter came and said, okay, we're going to pay you, but what did you bring us? There was nothing. Could remember nothing at all. This is fascinating. And this is called the Zeigarnik effect. The idea is that our brain craves cognitive closure. We want to finish things and wrap them up and file them away somewhere, and okay, perhaps we'll never find them again. Now, this is very interesting, of course, because it means 2 things. First of all, the brain keeps working on something if it's not complete. Even when we're not actively engaged in this particular task. And another thing, as teachers, we don't want to help this process. We want to leave things open, because the longer they stay open, the more people think about these things, and the more likely they are to learn things. Here's an example. In one study, they showed people 20 advertisements. Some of them were complete, some others were incomplete. They only saw part of it, the ad, right? And afterwards, after about a couple of hours, they asked them to write down everything they could remember. Which ads do you think they remembered the most? And the answer is the incomplete ones. Because the brain was curious, we wanted to see, okay, what happens next? Here's another activity. In another study, they gave a group of people a task. They told them, okay, you have a vacant lot. What can you do with it? Write down some ideas. So they had to spend half an hour coming up with ideas for how it can be used. With the second group, they gave them the same task. You have 15 minutes to think about how you can use this vacant lot. Then they had a break, and they played games, and then they came back and worked on the same task for another 15 minutes. And then other people compared the solutions, the ideas they had come up with. And what did they discover? The ideas of the second group was 30% more creative. Why? Because the brain kept working while they were playing games. Right? And this also explains why sometimes you can wake up one day and find the solution to a problem you've been thinking about for like 3 days. The brain keeps working in the background. I love this one. Okay. So they did another study with women, and they showed them profile versus men from dating sites, you know. And the men, they came basically in three groups. They were shown the profiles at random, but some of them, the profiles were really good. So these guys, they were handsome, they were professionals, they had lots of interests, they were kind, they were nice and everything. Other guys fell into a second group, which they were hopeless. They were ugly, they didn't have a job, they were not particularly nice, and so on and so forth. They didn't wash regularly. You get the idea, okay. All right, yeah. And then there was a third group where it was somewhat ambiguous. There was some positive things, some negative things. It wasn't clear whether these guys would be good dating partners, right? So they allowed the women some time to think about these people, and then they asked them, whom would you like to date? Which was the most popular group? Number 3, incredibly. Which says something about women, I think. Okay. But why? There is a psychological explanation to this. And the answer is that the brain kept thinking about, are these guys good or bad? And if you keep thinking about something, you tell yourself, oh, maybe I care. That's why I keep thinking about those guys, right? Fantastic. So this is the moral here. Our brain craves cognitive closure. And this is something we don't want to give our students. We want to give students incomplete activities in order to get them engaged in such tasks. Any ideas? Over to you.
Sentence completion.
Sentence completion, yeah. The beginning of a sentence, you ask them, yeah, why not? Anything else? And maybe you play a guessing game. So the sentences which can be completed in many ways, and students can see what the right answer is at the end. Yeah? Anything else?
Or creating stories on this.
Creating stories, yeah? What about this? You know picture stories? and Ezra told us about how we can create our own stories. Now here's an idea, playing on your activity. So you can have a sequence of pictures telling a story, using Ezra as the model. I think you can send us a picture so we can use it for our stories. And then cover up some of the frames. So she don't know what happened between this bit and this bit of the story. Okay, so there are some gaps. And she will want to perhaps write the story and think about what happened then, and then of course you show them the completed story. Anything else? Any other ideas?
A video without the sound so that they guess what...
That's it, that's it. Video without the sound, what did people say? Or the other way around, so you play the sound, and they cannot see what happened? So they have to write down, anything else?
Role play.
Role play, yeah. A role play, again, where you give them half the role play, and maybe they have to improvise afterwards, and then again you show them what actually happened in the original role play. The simplest thing in the world is to play, for example, a video, stop it at some point, and then they have to write down or discuss with each other what you think happened next. And yes, you can find some videos on my channel, ads for ELT. Right. There are about 20 of them or something, and they're chosen for this feature. They are stories, basically, most of them. So you can pause them at some point, and students can write out what happens next. You play the rest of the video. You get the idea. But we can also use AI, and here's again another activity that my students love: continue the story. Now, originally, this is a traditional activity. You know how you get students in pairs, and you give them the beginnings of 2 stories. So each of them continues the story for 1 or 2 sentences, then they swap. Right? That's the idea. But now, they can do it with ChatGPT. They don't actually need a partner. Give students the beginning of a story. And again, choice. Remember we said? Choice. A horror story, a detective story, a love story. They get to choose. Students continue the story for 1 or 2 sentences on ChatGPT. ChatGPT continues the story for another 1 or 2 sentences. And that's how it goes, right? And at the end, students can share the results of the collaborative work. You can create a Padlet where students can post their work. Well, I have a story for you, so I want your help, and let's see how it goes. Continue the story. A date, naturally. Okay. So, this is what you tell ChatGPT. I want us to write a story together. Every time I'm going to send you a sentence or 2, then you continue the story, send another sentence or 2, then it's my turn, and so on. And it's a good idea to give students the opening sentence. Jenny was feeling nervous. This was to be her first date with Peter, and she wanted to impress him. What should she wear? Let's see. Okay. Now, keep it clean, right? Okay. All right. This is a serious event. But your students are not going to be like that. Okay. All right. But like I said, I'm going to send you the, oops, not here. Okay. That sounds fun. I'm ready to cooperate with you. Write the first sentence, and I'm here to help. That's it, that's it. Jenny was feeling nervous, etc., etc. Let's see what Mia says. She paced in front of the closet, holding up outfits to the mirror, tossing them onto the bed. Finally, she took a deep breath and reached for the dress that always made her feel confident, hoping it would do the same tonight. Okay. What was it like? What was it like? Don't tell me that short black dress that what was her name? Bradshaw in Sex and the City. And Bradshaw there. Yeah. Had a life of its own, apparently. Over to you. What shall I write now? What was it like? What you chose? Come on. Yes, yes.
You can't go wrong with a little black dress.
Okay, let's see.
She thought to herself.
Yes, okay, good. You can't go wrong with a little black dress. She thought to herself, but is it too see-through perhaps? Come on, let's spice it up a bit. Good, don't do this in class. Jenny had the fabric up to the lights squinting. Maybe your mum will hear this. She told us, to be safe, she laid it, let's be safe. So she put on, her overcoat and stuff. She laid it on the bed and put on a soft burgundy dress instead. You can trust Mia to always go for the safe option. Okay. The elegant, comfortable, and most importantly, definitely not see-through. Yes. Okay. So what else did she decide to wear? Come on, ladies.
Wellington boots.
That's good. All right. I think a pair of Wellington boots would be perfect with this outfit, with the dress. She thought to herself. Yeah. She laughed at the absurdity of the idea. She showed up like, still, the boots were comfy. Someone shoot me out. After a moment's debate, she set them aside with a green wish for a pair of simple flats instead. Okay. Slightly enough of the day, practical. You get the idea. Okay? We can go like this. But it is fun. One of the, for me, the superpower of AI is unpredictability. You don't know what's going to come up, right? So you come up with something silly, and ChatGPT comes up with something silly as well. Okay, one more thing, and that's it. You would like us to continue? Oh my God, I love your wellies. Okay, endings. Okay, last principle, I promise. Imagine you go to the dentist, so you're on the chair, experiencing excruciating pain for half an hour. So then the dentist tends to you, listen to this. I'm totally crazy. That's Paul Bloom, by the way, great psychologist. I said, okay, you've suffered here for half an hour. How would you like me to continue with another 5 minutes of slightly milder pain? As a favor to you, you understand, right? Sounds crazy? Consider this study, bro. So this was based on, in the past, this used to be a very, very painful procedure. Now look at this graph here. So they did this with a number of patients. And this shows how long the whole thing lasted. And they were asked to record the amount of pain at each stage. You can see it's really, really, really painful here. And here as well. So this went on for, I don't know, 15 minutes. Yeah? And it's exactly the same here, it's just as painful. But this thing continued for another 10 to 15 minutes. Only you can see here the pain is milder. And then we asked the two groups to say how painful the whole thing was. Incredibly, the second group said it was less painful. They're completely crazy. They suffered just as much here and a bit more. But towards the end, the pain was milder. They said, this cannot possibly be the case. They decided to test it in the lab. Icy water, very simple study. So they brought people in the lab. They had a tub with icy cold water. This is very, very painful. So put your left hand in and leave it there until I tell you. So the guy, the researcher, had a stopwatch. 1 minute, right? The other guy didn't know how long it lasted. Okay, take it out. So they waited for 10 minutes. They put the other one in. They left it there for 1 minute. Then the researcher didn't tell him to take it out. So he left it for another 30 seconds. And they rose the temperature slightly. So it was still very painful, but not as painful as before. Okay, take it out. And I said, afterwards, which of the two processes would you like us to repeat? They chose the second. So the amount of pain was just the same during the first minute, and then the second group also suffered a bit more for another 30 seconds, only it was less painful. And yet, they preferred this experience. And think about it now, right? So the idea is this. The way something ends colors our perception of the event. Think about it. When you go to the restaurant, what's the last thing they bring you? But then, they also bring you dessert. Okay, so something sweet, etc. There's a reason for this. So this is the moral here. Endings color the way we remember our events. Now, I've observed lots and lots of teachers over the years. I've attended lessons, some of the lessons were great, and I've attended lots and lots of presentations in conferences and so on. To my amazement, you have people who give fantastic presentations, amazing talks, and at the end they say, okay guys, well that's all I have to say, I hope you found these ideas useful, I hope you get use some of these ideas again, bye-bye, I hope to see you get some. They fade out. Terrible. You miss an opportunity to make the whole thing memorable. So this is the last message to you. Don't fade away. End with a bang. For example, you can give them a little treat, like get them to play a game like this one. Ask the right question. This is the idea. It's again a guessing game, and this is meant to practice question forms, which as you know is very difficult, right? So this is the idea. Students work in pairs. They're all given a table with words and short phrases, and their task is to ask the right question so that ChatGPT comes up with the exact word or phrase. So you can use it with ChatGPT or with a partner. And students are given 1 minute, and they score points depending on how many correct answers they have elicited. But like I said, you can also play it with other people as well. So let me try this. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, raise your hand. Don't shout at the answer. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? Bing! It's like magic, isn't it? That was an easy one. What's the yellow fruit that monkeys like?
Bananas.
Bananas. Very good. Okay, that film by Woody Allen. What did people used to read in the morning before the advent of the internet? It's like magic. How does he do it? Okay. When was 2024? The answer is? Last year. Okay. Who is married to your mother? Here it is. Okay. It's a risk one. How would you feel before a job interview?
Anxious.
I missed one. Do you think ChatGPT is going to get the answer? Let's see. Let's see if we can try exactly the same questions with. So, yeah. Like I said, last activity. You'll be out of here in 3 minutes. No, 4. Okay. Hi, Mia. I'm going to ask you some questions. In each case, I want you to say the first answer that comes to your mind. Keep your answers very short because it goes on and on. Okay, let's go. Okay, I'm going to ask exactly the same question. Let's see. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? Bing. Okay. What's the yellow fruit that monkeys love to eat? That's okay. What did people used to read in the morning before the advent of the internet? Newspaper. Very good. Okay. When was 2024? No.
Maybe we always catch up with
Okay. I can't ask her who is married to your mother because I don't have a mother. Okay. It's very tricky. How would you feel before a job interview? That's very good. So yes, students can do it on their own. And this is what you do. You give this to a student, right? And they have to choose the easiest. Remember, you add the time pressure element. The question is to see how many words they can get ChatGPT to guess. And you give this to the other two, right? Okay, let's recap. Today we have looked at some discoveries in psychology and how we can use them in class. Now, retrieval. Do you remember the principles?
Yes.
Okay. What will you do? Hands up. Yes.
Peak moments.
Peak moments. Create peak moments in class. Anything else?
Choice.
Choice. Give students choice. Number 3. Implementation intentions. Get students to plan something in detail. It's exactly how, where, and so on, with whom they're going to do it. Next one? Incomplete. So our brain craves cognitive closure. So using complete activities to motivate students. And the last one? Ending. Don't fade out. End with a bang. Here they are. Okay. Now, there is one common thread that runs through all of these principles. Do they have to do with methodology? No. They have to do with your students. And I would like to close with a little story and a question for you. Here's the story. Have you heard of Howard Schultz?
Yes.
Okay? He was a former CEO of Starbucks. Now Starbucks, as you know, have been phenomenally successful. So at some point, Howard Schultz was being interviewed by a journalist. And he said, "What is your secret recipe?" He asked him. How come Starbucks is so successful? And Schultz said, "I'll tell you. But first, let me ask you a question. What business are we in?" So the journalist was taken aback. Starbucks? I don't know. Coffee? And Schultz said, "No, you're wrong. We're not in the coffee business serving people. We are in the people business serving coffee." Wow. So here's a question to you then. What about you? What business are you in? Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And here's the email address. And one more thing at the bottom, you can see for free webinars. We run free webinars every month or so. You can send an email to this address, and they will send you information about the upcoming webinars if you want to come. They're completely free, and they're methodology webinars, no promotion. Thank you, guys.